Hello and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into a question that sounds like it was pulled straight out of a movie. What in the world happens to time when you get near a black hole? Seriously, this is a journey to the absolute edge of what we understand about our universe, and I guarantee it's going to challenge everything you think you know about time.
You know, we all tend to think of time as this constant, unbreakable thing. A second is a second, a minute is a minute, doesn't matter if you're here or on the other side of the galaxy, right? Well, what if I told you that's not quite right? What if the universe's master clock doesn't actually tick at the same speed for everybody?
So what's the culprit? What's powerful enough to actually mess with the flow of time? Well, it's something we all feel every single second of our lives: gravity. But here's the twist. Gravity doesn't just keep your feet on the ground. It has a much deeper effect. It literally drags on time itself.
This whole idea has a pretty cool name: gravitational time dilation. It's a huge part of Einstein's theory of general relativity, and the rule behind it is actually super simple. The stronger the gravity is in a particular spot, the slower time passes there. The more gravity pulls, the more it slows down the clock. It's that direct. And listen, this is not just some abstract theory that physicists talk about. This is a real thing. It's a measurable phenomenon, and it's happening right now all around us in ways that are kind of subtle but also incredibly important for the way our modern world works.
To give you an idea of the scale, just think about our own planet. Because of the insane gravity at the center of the Earth, our planet's core is actually, get this, 2.5 years younger than its surface. Over 4.6 billion years, 2.5 fewer years have passed for the core than for us up here. Mind-boggling, right?
And we actually see this in our everyday technology. The GPS satellites orbiting Earth, their clocks run just a little bit faster than ours because they're in weaker gravity. If we didn't constantly correct for that tiny difference, your GPS would be off by miles within a single day. Even a clock on top of Mount Everest ticks just a hair faster than one down at sea level. Okay, so if the gentle gravity of Earth can do all that, what happens when we crank the dial all the way to 11? What happens when we start talking about the most extreme gravity in the known universe? What happens near a black hole?
So first off, what even is a black hole? Well, it's not a hole in space at all. Think of it as a ridiculous amount of stuff, an insane amount of matter, crushed down into an impossibly small point. And it's that incredible density that creates a gravitational field so strong, it just breaks all the rules.
Now, every black hole is surrounded by this boundary, this invisible line called the event horizon. It's not a physical wall you'd crash into. A better way to think of it is like the edge of a giant waterfall in space-time. Once you go over that edge, there's no going back. It's the ultimate point of no return.
And let's just bust a quick myth here. Black holes are not cosmic vacuum cleaners just sucking up everything in the universe. They follow the exact same laws of gravity as anything else. In fact, if our sun were to magically turn into a black hole with the same mass, Earth's orbit wouldn't change one bit. We just get really, really cold.
To really get a feel for this time warp, we're going to do a little thought experiment. Let's imagine we're sending a super brave astronaut on a trip right to the edge of a black hole, and we're going to watch what happens from a very, very safe distance.
Now, for this to even be possible, our astronaut has to go to a supermassive black hole, one of the giants. Why? Because the tidal forces, the stretching forces of gravity, around a smaller black hole would literally tear them apart into a long, thin strand of atoms, a process scientists cheerfully call spaghettification. Yeah, no thanks. But a supermassive one is so big they could cross the event horizon totally intact.
And this is where things get completely wild, because the experience is totally different for us watching from afar versus the astronaut actually living it. Their reality and our reality completely split apart. So, what do we see from Earth? As our astronaut gets closer and closer to that event horizon, their ship appears to slow down. The light coming from their ship gets stretched out by the intense gravity, making it look redder and redder. And as they reach the very edge, from our perspective, they seem to just freeze. They become a dim, red, frozen image, forever stuck at the boundary, never actually crossing.
But what about the astronaut? For them, nothing dramatic happens at all. They just sail right across the event horizon. There's no wall, no frozen moment. They just cross it. The moment they're inside, though, all possible paths point to the center. Moving towards the singularity becomes just as unavoidable as us moving into tomorrow.
Okay, now for the part that's really going to blow your mind. What if, just hypothetically, our astronaut could orbit near the black hole for a bit and then, somehow, come back home? That reunion would be, let's just say, shocking. So here's the punchline. For our astronaut, maybe only a few hours have gone by. They've had a quick trip, done some sightseeing. But back here on Earth, because time was ticking so much faster for us, centuries, maybe even thousands of years could have passed. They would return to a world that's millennia in their future.
And let me be clear, this is not science fiction. According to everything we know from Einstein's theories, this is a scientifically sound, real-world form of one-way time travel. It's a ticket to the future. You can't go back, but you could absolutely use gravity to leapfrog through the ages. So it all leaves you with this one huge, profound question. We used to think time was absolute, this unbreakable cosmic rule. Now we know gravity can literally bend it, stretch it, and slow it down to a crawl. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other unbreakable rules of the universe are just waiting to